The human eye is a complex organ that allows us to see by detecting light and converting it into electrochemical signals that the brain interprets as visual images. Here's a basic overview of its key parts and functions. Main parts of the human eye. Cornea, the clear, dome-shaped front part of the eye that bends, refracts incoming light. Pupil, the black circular opening in the center of the iris that controls how much light enters the eye. Iris, the colored part of the eye, a muscle that adjusts the size of the pupil. Lens, a transparent structure behind the pupil that further focuses light onto the retina by changing shape, accommodation. Retina, the inner lining at the back of the eye that contains photoreceptor cells, rods and cones, that detect light and color. Macula, a small central area in the retina responsible for sharp, central vision. Optic nerve, transmits visual information from the retina to the brain. Sclera, the white part of the eye that provides structure and protection. Aqueous humor, a clear fluid in the front chamber of the eye, providing nutrients and maintaining pressure. Vitreous humor, a gel-like substance filling the large chamber behind the lens, helping maintain the eye's shape. Accommodation is the process by which the lens of the eye changes shape to focus on objects at different distances, near or far. This is controlled by the ciliary muscles, which alter the tension on the suspensory ligaments connected to the lens. Accommodation. Accommodation is the process by which the lens of the eye changes shape to focus on objects at different distances, near or far. This allows us to see things clearly whether they are close or far away. It's controlled by the ciliary muscles and involves changing the curvature of the lens. Why accommodation is important? Because the distance of objects changes all the time, reading a book versus looking across the room, your eye needs a way to adjust its focus. That's what accommodation does. How does it work? 1. Looking at a near object, e.g., reading a book. The object is close, so light rays entering the eye are diverging. To focus them, the lens needs to bend the light more. Here's what happens. Ciliary muscles contract. Suspensory ligaments loosen. Lens becomes thicker and more curved. Focuses light correctly on the retina. 2. Looking at a distant object, e.g., a mountain. The object is far, so light rays are almost parallel. They need less bending to focus. Here's what happens. Ciliary muscles relax. Suspensory ligaments tighten. Lens becomes thinner and flatter. Focuses light on the retina. Pupillary mechanism. The pupillary mechanism is simply how your pupil adjusts its size to control how much light enters your eye. This process is automatic and happens without you thinking about it. It's a type of reflex. In bright light, what happens? Think of walking out of a dark room into the sun, you kind of squint, right? That's your eye protecting itself. The circular muscles in your iris contract. This makes your pupil smaller. We call this constriction or miosis. Why? Because you don't want too much light hitting your retina. It could damage it or make your vision blurry. This is controlled by the parasympathetic nervous system, which usually handles rest and digest functions. In dim light, what happens? Now imagine you're in a dark room. Your eyes adjust so you can see better. The radial muscles of your iris contract, which pull the pupil open wider. This makes the pupil larger. We call this dilation or mydriasis. More light comes in, so you can see more clearly in the dark. This response is controlled by the sympathetic nervous system, the system that handles fight or flight. Extra-pupillary response during accommodation, focusing on near objects. When you're reading a book or looking at something up close, your pupils also get smaller. This helps to sharpen the image by increasing the depth of focus. It's part of a bigger reflex called the accommodation reflex, which also involves the lens getting thicker and the eyes turning slightly inward, convergence. Visual defects. 1. Myopia, short-sightedness. Problem: you can see near objects clearly, but distant objects appear blurry. Cause: the eyeball is too long, or the lens is too curved. Light rays focus in front of the retina instead of directly on it. Correction: use a concave lens, diverging lens, to spread out the light rays so they focus correctly on the retina. Tip to remember: myopia equals minus lens equals distant blurry. 2. Hypermetropia, long-sightedness. Problem: you can see distant objects clearly, but near objects appear blurry. Cause: the eyeball is too short, or the lens is too flat. Light rays focus behind the retina. Correction: use a convex lens, converging lens, to bend the light more and bring the focus onto the retina. Pushpin tip: hypermetropia equals plus lens equals near blurry. I3. Astigmatism. Problem: blurred or distorted vision at all distances. Cause: the cornea or lens is unevenly curved. Light rays do not focus evenly on the retina. Correction: use cylindrical lenses to compensate for the uneven curve and correct the focus. 4. Presbyopia, age-related. Problem: difficulty seeing near objects, similar to hypermetropia. Cause: with age, the lens loses flexibility, so it can't thicken enough to focus on close objects. Usually begins around age 40 plus. Correction: use reading glasses with convex lenses, or bifocal/multifocal lenses, for both near and far vision.